Okay, guys, I assume you guys know who Mike Lindell is, right? The MyPillow guy. You probably became aware of him years ago when his ads started running on TV nonstop. These overly long advertisements for a pillow brand that he started that's supposedly a revolutionary type of pillow. Never used one myself. I don't know if they're good. For all I know, they're actually quite good pillows. Who knows? But from what I can tell, he's just kind of a Midwest grifter. But he's high energy. He's got that crackhead energy for sure. And he's a big sycophant for Trump. He loves Donald Trump. He worships Donald Trump. And recently, this YouTuber, who I've actually never heard of, but, I mean, I'm going to drop a like and a sub right now. And I'm going to link him down below in the description for you guys watching this video when it goes up on YouTube to go subscribe yourselves. And I'm also going to drop the link in chat for you guys to go subscribe yourselves and go drop a like and engage with it and all that good stuff. Do the same to my video, don't forget. But the video's called I Debated the Trump Pillow Guy. He Almost Cried. It's this guy who debated him with a microphone in public, sort of like live debate format, the same way conservatives tend to just confront a person in public and demand that they answer for shit. I like this format. Walter Masterson is another YouTuber who does similar content to this, from the looks of it, and I'm excited to see what this guy has to offer with his debate skill, because I've never heard of him. Maybe I'm about to have my eyes open to a whole new favorite creator. Let's check it out. Making the MyPillow guy cry.
Can dream on steroids. I was an ex-crack addict and found Jesus Christ. You need help. This kid needs prayer. We need to pray for him. We need to pray for him. We need to pray for him.
I love it. Keep booing.
Pray for him. We need to pray for him.
Boo all you want. Boo all you want. It's okay. You're spending all your money because you've been conned by Donald Trump. I'm sorry.
And he doesn't do that.
Who won Wisconsin, though? Who won Wisconsin?
It has to do with the widespread fraud.
Oh, no. Well, like... Have you ever heard of the subreddit called r/gangstalking or gangstalker or whatever? I forget exactly what it's called. It's a subreddit of people who have schizophrenia and believe that they are being like stalked nonstop. They think that like if like there's a red truck following them, they think that's somebody following them, and if they see another red truck, you know, and they're insane people. They're like very, very crazy, and they post about like they'll post like an image of like a van parked in a parking lot at a grocery store and say they really think I don't see it. And everyone's in the replies is like, "Yep, clear as day." But they don't describe what it is they see that makes it obvious. And you think for a while, are these trolls? But they are not trolls. And if you go there and you post something that they consider ridiculous, like if you try to go there and post a troll post, it will get deleted and you'll be banned, because these are real people with schizophrenia that believe this. And if you go in there and you challenge what they believe, they will mob on you, and you will never feel more left out, like the crazy person, for not being crazy. You know what I mean? You will have entered a space where normalcy is so abnormal that you will be the odd one out who is laughed at. You will be the one... You will be the guy in that one meme where he's the only one who hasn't pissed in the pool, and the whole rest of the pool is pissed, and they're all pointing and laughing at him. Like, that will be you if you go... And this is essentially what's happened here. This is the politics version of exactly that.
I'm telling you, I want the machines gone. God bless you all. I know a lot of you were out in the parking lot, and you probably see me getting attacked by a journalist out there. Well, you guys, and I thank you.
Trolling actual schizophrenics is pretty low, TBH. I hate to inform you, but the modern-day Republican Party is fueled by mental illness. We are being ableist by simply making fun of conservatives. They don't have a grip on reality. That is not mental wellness, if you ask me.
For all trying to get involved there, but this is how we get the word out.
How are you doing today, Mr. Lindell? How's the MyPillow business going?
It's been tough because we've been the most attacked company in history.
I want to ask you, how are you going to prevent the Democrats from stealing this upcoming election in the same way they stole the last one?
Well, it's I call it the Uniparty.
What I really love about the claim that the election was stolen from Trump is that their answer to this question will always be more people need to vote for Trump. The election was rigged. It was stolen. Trump actually won. But you can only beat the rigged election that's rigged to make it so Trump can't win, even if he wins, by getting more people to vote for him. The fact is, they all know that Trump lost fair and square, and that is why they want more people to vote for Trump, and they're doing rallies, and they're rallying up support, because if they genuinely believed that Trump couldn't win the election because it's rigged, they would be burning the cities down and slaughtering people with their guns. They would be doing the day of the rope. They would be doing another J6 if they thought the election was truly unwinnable for Trump, fair and square.
That stole the last election. The Democrats wanted these voting machines gone for 2 decades. I've been fighting for 3 years.
Voting machines? Like, what is he referring to here? I mean, I know I voted on a paper ballot. I know they've got, like, some kind of machine that they put your ballot through, but you vote on paper every time that I've voted. I guess there are electronic voting in some places, but I've always done mail-in ballots. I don't even know. Is he talking about the that there was this one attempt at making a real scandal the right did with these voting machines in Georgia, maybe? I think it was like the Dominion voting machines or something like that thing, and they investigated them to see if there was something rigged about them, and there wasn't. The democracy device, yeah. No, I don't know what the fuck he is on about, but what I do know is that the Republicans have pushed and pushed and pushed for the last 4 years. 4 fucking years. The counting machines, maybe? That's what I'm assuming, yeah. The last 4 fucking years, there have been non-stop court appearances and recounts and attempts to recall the election and try and, like, overturn the outcome, and they have never been able to find fraudulent votes for Biden. In fact, they recently did find some fraudulent votes, and they were from a Republican representative who had fraudulently voted multiple times for Trump.
To get paper ballots hand counted. We have over 250 counties now that have committed to paper ballots in the 2024 election. Is there going to be corruption in it? Absolutely, but we can only pray that our real president gets enough votes to override the stuff, so to speak.
Can I ask you about something that worries?
Gets enough votes to override the Notice how he said nothing there? Because there is no explanation for how a rigged election could be won with more votes. They know it's not rigged, and it was never rigged. Trump lost fair and square. Mauled.
Worries me personally. So after the election, Donald Trump brought these 62 cases to different courts, and all of them were shot down, mostly due to evidentiary reasons. So why was that?
No, that's a lie you just told.
Why? What was
no judge in the United States looked at any of the evidence based on merit. All the cases were thrown out on
33 of them were shot down due to evidentiary reasons. The standing cases were people were looking for crazy remedies, like flipping states entirely.
No, that's not true. I've got millions of dollars in this. All the cases that were brought up, no judge looked at the evidence based on merit. They were.
Of the 64 cases brought by Trump and his supporters, 20 were dismissed before a hearing on the merits. 14 were voluntarily dismissed by Trump and his supporters before a hearing on the merits, and 30 cases included a hearing on the merits. Only in one Pennsylvania case involving far too few votes to overturn the results did Trump and his supporters prevail. There was also the case that I mentioned just now, where they found fraudulent votes for Trump.
Were kicked out on standing, they kicked the can down the road. An Obama-appointed judge went to court on January 9th. She said, hey, there's widespread, or the experts say that there's corruption in these machines. She said that. And you're not a conspiracy theorist if you question them. The expert, Alex Halderman, flipped the election in 3 minutes with a ballpoint pen.
So why did Trump appoint these judges that decided?
There's like a type of dude from the Midwest, like Alex Jones, that is just really good at rattling off bullshit off the top of their head. I don't know why it's always dudes from the Midwest, but it always is dudes from the Midwest, like Missouri. Like everywhere from like Missouri down to Texas, that like strip of states. You get these fucking dudes who are just masters of weaving bullshit for right-wing narratives. It's quite ridiculous. I feel like, in particular, people from Missouri, Missouri conservatives are some of the dumbest it gets. Isn't Missouri called the Show Me State? Isn't that its nickname? Because people from that state, they don't believe shit. Like, you tell them, well, the experts say, well, I don't know about that. You better show me that. Well, here's where they did the data. Well, I don't know about that. You better show me the people who they're like, it's like part of the culture of Missouri. So much so it's their tagline that they don't believe shit they're told, and that they're conspiracy theory minded as fuck. You know.
To not look at the evidence is what you're saying.
No, it's not. It has nothing to do with it. And you're not an independent journalist. You're full of crapola. This judge, crapola. These judges are just in fear. It doesn't matter if it's
That's hilarious. My mom says crapola.
An Obama-appointed judge or a Trump-appointed judge.
Everybody around Donald Trump, everybody from Mike Pence to Mark Meadows, everybody said, hey man, there's not, even his own Attorney General, Bill Barr. So when he makes these claims of top-down election fraud.
Let me tell you, Chris, we'll talk with Chris Krebs. We'll talk about Chris Krebs. He said, he's the one that said the most secure.
Notice how he's copying Trump's, like, mannerisms and is even wearing a suit the same way Trump does. Like, he's dressing like Trump and doing Trump mannerisms, and I think trying to wear his hair as close to Trump as he can.
Election in history. He got let go by CISA for saying that false statement. 3 months later, he was on Morning Joe, and they asked him, what's the biggest...
I love this guy. He regularly flashes, like, fact checks on screen when relevant. This goes hard as fuck. False. Christopher Krebs, we prepared for more Russian interference, but this year, the assault on democracy was from within the U.S.
Local level. Bill Barr, crooked Bill Barr, what he did in the spring of 21.
So the interference that he referenced, the corruption that he referenced as being valid and not conspiratorial, if you believe it, is Russian interference to help the Republicans. That is what he was referencing there. He twisted a judge saying that believing in Russian interference is not conspiratorial into believing there is corruption in the voting system is not conspiratorial to support Trump. But the Russian interference is to support Trump.
If you remember correctly, or not, actually it was in the winter. It was
Who was Bill Barr appointed by, though?
I mean, it doesn't matter who appointed him.
Because you say Donald Trump picks the best people, but then everyone...
Who said Donald Trump picks the best?
Donald Trump said that himself. He said it himself. I picked the best people. I'm a businessman.
Bill Barr told people to stand down in Pennsylvania. Stand down. Do you like your country?
I love my country.
You're the problem.
I'm a patriot.
Open your eyes.
That's why
you've told 4 lies on this show already.
I'm the one lying, man.
You just said that the judges ruled that there was no evidence of fraud.
They were shot down on evidentiary reasons. Half of them were.
Show me one case based on merit. Nobody looked at the machine.
There's a case in Georgia where...
Let me just tell you. That's right.
See, look at the face he makes whenever his crowd of people start cheering for him. Remember, guys, the right, they can't win arguments on actual facts or merits. What they rely on is being the popular club. Having a group of people around them to turn you into the guy in the meme where the whole pool is full of piss except for around you, and everyone's pointing and laughing at you because you're the guy who hasn't pissed in the pool. It's all about making you feel ashamed for not pissing the pool. That's how the right operates. They it's why so many conservative accounts, like going back to Gamergate, have always focused on finding like small 14, 15 or less thousand subscriber YouTube accounts that are making lefty content, responding to them in like a really virulent way, just very vitriolic, and then sending their audiences to harass the shit out of them to bully them off the internet. It's like wolves or coyotes hunting down like a sick or an old or like a young buffalo from the pack. It's how the right operates. So someone like this going into the wolf den to argue with them, I mean, they think it's on their territory. It's on their turf. And they know, like, you know, that the second that they start to get onto the back foot and they're losing the argument, their whole crowd is going to start yelling just to throw you off.
Let me just tell you.
They don't want to hear what you have to say. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear anything that does not align with their worldview. They don't want their worldview to not be true. if their worldview wasn't accurate, a lot of them would be truly depressed about it. If God himself came down from the heavens irrefutably, they couldn't deny it. They weren't allowed to deny it. They lost their free will to do so, as evidence that it is in fact God. And we're told that their ideology, their conservatism is evil and bad and against what he wants. They would probably kill themselves, a good fair amount of them. Many of them have a deep emotional hatred of minorities and gay people, trans people, etc. And finding out that God accepts them and they would go to heaven, many of them would rather go to hell. They're that married to their hatred.
Let me just tell you.
It's a free country, guys.
Let me just tell you. The Georgia judge, Obama appointed. How do you explain right in front of him? Hey, would you let me talk to him, please? I've spent $40 million to secure our elections. This isn't about Donald Trump. I was on Jimmy Kimmel, if you bother and watch these things, and Jimmy Kimmel asked me in the spring of 21, Mike, if your good friend Donald Trump was selected like you say Biden was, would you still be sounding the alarm? We here in the United States, these computers, there's been everyone's protection, lawfare. You won't talk about
Is he actually trying to argue that we have managed democracy? Like in Helldivers? Is that actually what he's arguing?
Dominion or smart man.
Yeah, he's talking about the Dominion voting machine thing that literally brought up nothing. I remember that was one of the first big attempts at a scandal over the election the right tried, and nothing came of it. This guy's repeating, like, long debunked shit, but all these guys have probably jotted down these long debunked, like, scandal attempts by right-wing grifters as, like, totally accurate, real stories that are on the list of things that the left has done to hurt them personally.
You're protecting them. Why? They've attacked companies like MyPillow. I didn't change.
Why did Fox News settle with Dominion, in your opinion?
Why did Fox News settle with Dominion?
Yeah.
Why don't you ask Fox News? They never asked me for evidence.
It's because Fox News is...
No, it's because Fox News claimed that the Dominion voting machines were fraudulent and were rigging the election in favor of Biden, and there was no evidence of this whatsoever, and Fox News could provide no evidence of this. The information that was pulled from this had no evidence, and so Fox News had to settle in court because they couldn't fight it. He was sued by Dominion. Fox wasn't the only people they went after. Wait, he was sued by Dominion too? I hope this guy knows that.
Is full of shit. I'm sorry, but Fox News is full of BS. When they say that Dominion voting machines are rigged and they settle out of court, I'm sorry, but Dominion is not as rigged as you guys say.
You know what?
Over and over, you come up with these...
You're the problem in this country.
I am?
Yes, you are.
You're the one undermining our elections consistently, spreading these lies about widespread election fraud.
Or when conservatives try to push the age of being able to vote up to 25, you know that the right was trying to do that immediately after Biden took office, right? Their first move after Biden took office was they tried to, and there still are, trying to raise the minimum voting age to 25. That would make me too young to vote. In July, I would be old enough to vote. This upcoming election would be the first election I'd be allowed to vote in if that law was instated. Dude. The fact is, they want to disenfranchise A, young people who vote Democrat from voting, and B, brown people who vote Democrat from voting. They want to disenfranchise those that don't vote for them from being able to vote.
No lies.
So you're saying there's top-down election fraud in all of these swing states?
It's a uniparty. The Democrats wanted these machines gone. I've talked to the Democrats. I get blocked by uniparty Republicans like Robin Voss right here.
Doesn't he sound so much like Alex Jones? If you've watched my coverage of Alex Jones, you'll know how often I bring up his favorite quote. I've talked to them. I've seen the documents. Trust me. I've talked to them. I've seen it. I've seen the documents. I've been there myself. Trust me. You notice how much of that same exact type of like bullshit artistry is coming from this guy? I tell you, right-wing grifters from Missouri, the show me state, are the best at just making shit up and believing shit that fits their worldview without needing to be shown anything to support it. God. Fucking Midwest conservatives. Can't get enough of them.
Here in Wisconsin. He found all the widespread fraud here in Wisconsin. A report came out in this state. Are you from this state?
No, I'm not from...
No, of course you're not. Who are you from? Well, you're independent.
Indiana.
I would just say I am from this state. I just lie. Every time I talk to a conservative like this in one of these interviews, I just lie. I should start doing stuff like this. Where do you find these people? Do I just need to like stalk their social media and see if they announce they're going to be at an event, like a public event, like a month in advance, and just like book tickets, get there, bring a microphone and a camera person, and just kind of ambush them? I got to do that. I really got to do that.
Yeah, who are you from? What network is this?
YouTube channel. I run my own YouTube channel. Yeah, well, I fund it myself.
Right, you fund it yourself, right?
So I can say whatever I want. Yeah.
Oh, you can say whatever you want? Let me tell you, do you work for Dominion? This guy must work for Dominion and Smart.
One of my favorite things is like, I would guesstimate 25% of the hate comments I get on Twitter and YouTube are people accusing me of being a paid shill. Literally, like, almost a quarter are people telling me that I am an employee of, like, Amazon. It's never, like, conservative, like, demagogues saying I, like, work for Soros or something, or the CIA. It's literally, like, I made a video praising the Fallout show, and there was a tweet that I saw today with, like, 100 likes, claiming saying something like, I wonder how many more paid shills like Xander Hall are out there promoting the Fallout show. And it's a screenshot of my title and thumbnail. It's like, these people's go-to, I don't have any arguments against this guy, and he simply disagrees with me and knows what he's talking about and does not come off as brainwashed, is this guy is an employee. This guy is an employee of Dominion Voting. Can I use you as a reference to get a job at Amazon, Zan? Yes, tell them I said you're goated on the sticks.
Shut him down!
It's better than working for Russia like you do. I mean, you're helping Vladimir Putin undermine the election.
I'm the American dream on steroids. I was an ex-crack addict and found Jesus Christ. You need help.
Jesus.
Help. This kid needs prayer. We need to pray for him. We need to pray for him. We need to pray for him.
I love it. Keep booing.
We need to pray for him.
Boo all you want. Boo all you want. It's okay.
You guys, this guy needs prayer. He's part of the problem in this country. His eyes are closed. He doesn't get it. Do you think I'm spending all my money? I want to save your country, our country, both of our country.
You're spending all your money because you've been conned by Donald Trump. I'm sorry.
Donald Trump has nothing to do with it. Don't you get it?
We're at a Trump rally. We're at a Trump rally.
And you know what? You know what I preach all the time? What do I preach to everybody? Get rid of the computers in our elections. Is that what I preach? When have you seen me out there going, oh,
the crazy thing is, you know that like a shitload of Trump supporters and Republicans volunteered to be part of the vote counting all across red states, right? Red and especially blue states. And it was allowed. There are tons of Republican Trump voters who wanted to be there themselves as part of the vote counting to witness how it's done and see if it's actually fraudulent because they genuinely believed it might be. Witnessed how seriously they took it and how secure it actually was, and then heard all of this nonsense after the election, and they don't buy it. There are a fair few Trump supporters and conservatives who volunteered to see this shit themselves, saw it's not happening, and they don't fall for it. There's been a fair few like verified Trump supporters who've come out in interviews who were volunteering at these polling stations to talk about how disappointed they were to see so many people that they supported fall for a narrative that they themselves witnessed to be untrue.
If the shoe is on the other foot, do you think I wouldn't still be sounding the alarm? I would. Anybody that knows me, I would. So you can't sit here and tell me, you're going to call me I'm a grifter? I've spent every dime I've had in this world because I know we have to save our country, get rid of these computers.
And I don't think you're a grifter. You believe what you're saying, but I think that you've been misled by Donald Trump into thinking there's this widespread...
I don't talk to Donald Trump about this. Haven't you watched the news? I'm the only...
Notice how when a conservative begins screaming into the face of a neutral-faced lefty in a debate, it's seen as passionate, empowered, and like he's going sicko mode. He's being powerful right now. But if he was bringing anywhere near the amount of energy this guy is to this debate, he would be the next triggered lefty, used in every conservative meme for the next 20 years. Hell, all it takes is there being a frame where you look like a little angry and yell, like your mouth is open in a funny way for half a second, and someone will screenshot it, and it'll be used in memes forever when, like, a conservative needs like an angry lefty for a meme. So like a good example is that red shirt, glasses, blonde lady that has that one screenshot where she's like looking all angry. When you watch the actual original video, that's just her mid-sentence, and she's actually speaking the quietest of anyone in that crowd, and she's not like angry or triggered or anything. She's just trying to talk to the guy over like through the crowd, and so she's enunciating her words and using a lot of body language to try to like allow the guy to understand what she's saying through all the people yelling around them. And so there's like one frame where she's like, because she's just trying to like enunciate every word so you can kind of lip read her a little bit, and that single frame has been captured and used as an iconic right-wing representation of conservatives. But it's literally just a lady like having a very well-mannered debate with a conservative. Like the conservative guy was screamy, but like they were just having a debate, and she's trying to speak in a way where he can understand what she's saying over the crowd, because everyone else around is actually triggered and screaming. They were the two, like she was the one having a reasonable conversation with this guy and like asking him about his beliefs. I think literally the argument she was making in that screenshot too, I hate to stunlock, but it's relevant, I guess. The argument she was making there as well, when that screenshot comes from, is her saying word for word, not all men are rapists. Because the guy she's arguing with says that the Mexican men coming over the border are rapists. And she's like, no, I don't like that sounds too similar to like all men are rapists to me. I don't like literally she was refuting the kind of argument that I think a conservative would assume she believes about like men all being rapists or something. And yet she still gets clipped. So I'm impressed with this guy, that he does not let himself get clipped that way. But isn't it interesting how much of a double standard there is, where this guy is actively screaming in this dude's face? This is not seen as triggered by his audience. He's got his fans behind him cheering him on.
Only one in January of 2021. I got all the evidence. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump. I'm the one that's got the evidence. I paid millions of dollars and did my own investigations and got the evidence. Donald Trump had nothing to do with that.
So Donald Trump didn't pay a single penny out of his own.
I was watching The Boys, the end of The Boys season 3 with my friends the other day on Discord. And the scene where like Homelander and Ryan land in the middle of the crowd is happening, and they're parodying J6 and all that. And I was like, man, not even most Trump supporters look like that at like Trump rallies. They go a little overboard, and it's a little over the top, I guess. Nah, they literally just perfectly imitate a Trump rally. Like, tell me this doesn't look like these could be extras in one of those scenes in The Boys where the camera pans away from Homelander to the crowd cheering at what he just said. Like, tell me these all couldn't be extras in that crowd when the camera pans to show the crowd cheering at what Homelander said. Some unhinged shit.
Paid millions of dollars and did my own investigations and got the... Donald Trump had nothing to do with that.
So Donald Trump didn't pay a single penny out of his own pocket, but you're bankrupting yourself? Maybe you believe it, but Donald Trump, he's been using...
Mind you, the reason why he's bankrupted is because he keeps getting sued and losing because of the false claims he's making about these companies and organizations and about the election.
Super PAC money to fund these lawsuits that he's lost over and over. He's lost.
You know what? Why don't you talk about me? Talk about me. I'm telling you, I want paper ballots, hand counted.
He is talking about him.
What do you got against me? What did I do? I was an ex-crack addict, the American dream. I have 2,000 employees that have been attacked by people like you over and over and over again. Why? Because I want paper ballots, hand counted.
Can I ask you a question?
Why are you attacking me because I want paper ballots, hand counted?
I'm not attacking you because you want paper ballots. I'm attacking you because you're spreading lies about election fraud.
Mind you, one of their favorite things to do is when you have them confronted and you've got them pinned down is to move the goalpost to the most defendable argument that they could possibly hold, despite that not being at all what they argue when they're unchallenged and like unrestrained. They'll go on Twitter or their live streams or their videos, and they'll go on rambling after rambling after rambling, constant conspiracy theories. But if you confront them, all of a sudden they've got the most tame and milquetoast opinions imaginable, and you can't challenge them on anything because they don't stand by anything they say when they're not in a position to be challenged.
that haven't been proven.
You're the ones that. Yes, they have been proven. They have been.
In what? In courts or are there videos? Where have they been
here
proven?
in Wisconsin, the Supreme Court of Wisconsin ruled there was widespread fraud. Open your eyes. So you guys voted here in Wisconsin. The Supreme Court of Wisconsin said there was widespread fraud. They said there was widespread fraud. You said.
Let's fact check this, I guess. Oh, can I open a new tab? Supreme Court, Wisconsin, widespread fraud. How one Wisconsin man plagued election offices and stoked mistrust. Peter Byrne, and then the last part of his name is literally like, it's literally, I would have to say the N-word, so I'm not going to. That's literally his last name. Unfortunate for me, okay? Peter Byrne has brought at least 18 lawsuits against election clerks and offices over alleged fraud. Now he faces criminal charges. Peter Byrne has spent the last 3.5 years bombarding local election offices in Wisconsin with litigation and accusations of fraud. He's brought at least 18 lawsuits against election clerks and offices in state court and on social media. He has relentlessly promoted his litigation and circulated false claims about election fraud in the swing state. His campaign has recently landed him in legal trouble. Byrne now faces criminal charges for allegedly falsifying a subpoena in connection with a lawsuit against the state's top election office. It's an escalation. Okay, so no claims by the Supreme Court of widespread fraud. Nothing came up when I searched that. But there being this one insane guy who has been pestering the Wisconsin election offices and is now facing criminal charges for it, for constantly claiming they're fraudulent with no evidence or proof, and now falsifying info. That's the only information that comes up about that. So I imagine it's a friend of this guy.
He's calling all you guys in Wisconsin liars.
Who won the state of Wisconsin?
Prove it then.
I don't have to prove a negative.
They said that there was
So who won Wisconsin?
They don't understand the idea of you not having to prove a negative. That doesn't flow with them. God, look at these genetic specimens standing in the background, by the way. Look at these genetic specimens of human beings who go to Trump rallies. You know, eugenics might not be that bad of a practice if you really think about it. I just think it's been majorly used incorrectly throughout history against the wrong people. But, fuck, I mean, joke, that was a joke, that was a joke, that was a joke, that was a joke. See, if you say it 5 times fast, then no one can get mad at you for it.
Donald Trump won Wisconsin, period.
Did he?
Yes.
The electors went to...
But the Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled here, they ruled there was fraud with the machines and the drop boxes. They didn't say if it was enough to turn it over. So you just told a lie. You said...
He won Wisconsin. Joe Biden got the electors from Wisconsin, 100%.
The Supreme Court of Wisconsin ruled that there was problems with this fraud.
They actually live in the state. How did that happen?
So you guys are actually saying...
There was more people on there that actually lived in the state. How did that happen?
Can I ask you
This
that?
guy's not even from this state.
I know.
Is it? This really just makes me excited for The Boys season 4. Isn't that weird? How watching just like rowdy, insane Trump supporters go rabble rabble makes me excited for The Boys season 4. Like this feels like a sneak peek.
Can I ask you a question?
Your Supreme Court in Wisconsin, do you guys know, ruled there was widespread fraud. Do you know that?
Yes.
And he doesn't know that.
Who won Wisconsin, though? Who won Wisconsin?
What does it have to do with the widespread fraud? I'm telling you.
Biden won Wisconsin. That was such a W moment when Wisconsin went blue. I remember I was doing all-night coverage of the election. I was probably the only streamer that was still live come like 5 a.m. still talking about the election and covering it, having like a live stream of CNN going with live election updates while playing WoW Classic. Like I had it cornered on the screen as like the foreground and WoW in the background. And I streamed for like over 24 hours. I think it was like a 24-hour stream. And I had to stop streaming when like the sun came up and my eyes were drooping shut. But at that point, we already knew for sure Biden had mathematically won the election. There was no way for him to lose at that point. So I was like the one person who stuck it out. But Wisconsin going blue was the moment when everything turned around, and then Georgia went blue, or maybe I'm mixing that up. But when Georgia and Wisconsin went blue, that was when it was all in the bag. Everything turned in Biden's favor at that point. Really, as things went by, and I kept assuring people, guys, I know things look a little rough right now, but the mail-in ballots take longer to count. They come in later. So you're going to see, as the night goes on, Biden's lead, or the amount of votes Biden is getting, are going to increase. The rate is going to increase. And sure enough, it did. Sure enough, it did. Those mail-in ballots came to the rescue.
I want the machines gone. That's what I want. What does that have to do with it?
Can I ask you a question? So on January 6th, when Mike Pence certified the results of the election, do you think he was justified in doing that?
You know, let me tell you something.
That's the day Mike Pence certified the results of the election. Was Mike Pence justified?
Let me tell you something. I've spent all my money not to...
We know this. We know this.
Not to overturn an election. You're bringing up...
Oh my God, he is like screaming. His like tie and suit jacket are flying. They're like flapping around.
Full stuff. I'm going forward. They said there was widespread fraud here. A judge was ruled on it, and to get rid of the machines. I'm telling you that, and you're saying, no, nobody ruled on that. You're lying. I don't care what you're saying about Donald Trump or who won what state. I'm telling you that ship sailed. I'm not fighting. All you media Mike Lindell's trying to overturn the 2020 election. Since the spring of 21, I have said, you know what? That ship sailed. That don't matter. We have to get rid of these computers in our elections and go to paper ballots and count it. That's the fact.
So I want to ask you, go back to my question. When Mike Pence certified the results of the election on January 6, 2021, was he justified in doing that, or should he have stopped the peaceful transfer of power?
I really don't care about that.
You know what I would do in this position? If I do this type of content, do you know what I'm going to do? The sky is congested? No, people like this just sound like that all the time. You know what I would do in this position? I would get lapel mics, wireless lapel mics. And when I interview someone like this, I'd ask them to put it on their collar for the interview and get 2 earpieces connected to the lapel mic that allow me to hear just what he's saying and cancel outside noise out. And I'm just hearing what's coming out of the guy's mouth. So he'll be really loud, especially if he's screaming, but nobody's background screaming or noise is going to be able to be like penetrating the earbuds and distracting me. If I do content like this, that's what I'm going to try to pull off. If they agree to put the lapel mic on. Well, I guess I could just have it connected to that and have it be like a boom mic, like a lot of you have to talk directly into it, you know, like this one. So when I'm right here, my voice is so much less clear and potent and hearable as when I'm right here, which is where you're supposed to talk into the front of the mic.
But I will tell you this: if he would have, would you let me talk?
Everybody's a rhino to you guys. Come on.
If he would have ruled and overturned it, then you know what? I believe we would have lost our country. You know what?
The people with walkers and shit. God, isn't it nice to see that like a fair amount of these people are like just like they're an aging problem, you know? Like the problem is going to age away eventually as long as society keeps on the direction it's going. Like look how many of these people with like, I don't know how old this person is, but I mean like literally walking with a walker. A lot of these people have gray hair or just not, none of these are young people. There's no young people here. The young people that are here, like maybe this guy, but it's hard to tell because the back of his head, and like college conservative Zoomer groups and grapers and stuff. They really have no future, the GOP these days. It's just old racists dragging society down and dying. More and more of them die every day.
Why?
Of natural
because
causes.
we wouldn't have found out what I found out and everybody the last 3 years, that we got to get rid of these computers in our election. If that
Look at this grody fuck. There's at least like a younger looking woman behind him, but like look at the ratio. There are no young people here. Nobody who has like point at one person besides this lady in the crowd who looks like they have any future kids ahead of them. None of these people, I guess, should be having kids. Maybe they might. But these people are old enough that they don't look like they're going to be having any future kids, right? Like, think about that. They are a dying breed, thank God. The average far-right conservative weirdo.
What happened there? That's the bottom line. We have to have what all these other countries have: no computers used in election. I don't care. The past don't matter. We learn from a past. In MyPillow, when I took in $100 million on my first inverse and woke up $6 million in debt, I learned from that. I almost lost the company. I learned from it. If 2012 hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here 184 million pillows later. If 2020 election hadn't happened, we wouldn't have learned that these computers have to go. That's what I stand for. Paper ballots, hand counted. So, period.
I just genuinely, I don't get how you can live in this reality where every court is rigged, every institution.
This is their strategy: scream and clap over them, scream and clap over them, make them feel bad for not pissing in the pool.
We gave you enough attention.
Thank you, Mike.
Also, it doesn't speak highly of your presidential campaign event when one of your featured guests starts his speech by saying, "You probably saw me getting attacked in the parking lot."
Oh, he got referenced on this show. That's funny. I don't like Seth Meyers. That's Seth Meyers, right? I don't like him. I mean, he's not, like, awful. Like, his politics are fine by the sounds of things. Like, he doesn't seem like his politics are awful, but he's not funny. I don't like his format. It seems like he's basically just throwing constant eggs at a wall with attempts at jokes. 50% or more fall flat, and it's really rough. I much prefer a format like what I try to go for, which is I keep things fairly serious and straightforward and somewhat dry until I come up with a really funny, raunchy joke or a really funny, dumb joke. And if my joke is funny, then I'll make a joke out of it. But I usually like think about and gauge a joke before I drop it, because if it falls flat, that's just embarrassing, you know? But it's like nonstop secondhand embarrassment from watching his, like, half of his jokes fall flat at least, you know? And it's hard for me to watch. But pretty cool of him to get featured there. Pretty cool that he got featured there at all, really. It's really awesome. Got referenced at least, you know what I mean? That is hilarious. But I feel like a really good insight into how conservatives, like your average conservative, thinks and argues. They really don't have any line of logic or belief. They just have biases that they've grown up with, and those biases have been now reinforced with a lot of talking points and dialogue tree NPC responses that they use to defend their ideas. And they know that, like, much like I'm actually not trying to pedo jacket these people. It's just the first example that comes to mind. It's kind of what, like, lolicons are doing right now on the internet and on Twitter in particular, where they're gathering in very hyper concentrated spaces to build massive figures, like really large figures within the lolicon community that normal people don't have enough of a platform to go after. Like Rev Says Desu is getting close to 1 million subs now and is a full-on lolicon and far-right YouTuber. And anytime I cover Rev Says Desu, I get a false strike on my channel. I can't cover that person's channel because so many lolicons come and false report my videos and VODs going back years until something gets hit. So yeah. It's really just a matter of these communities. They get together, they get to a big group where they're nice and concentrated, and they can point and laugh at you for not pissing in the water. Where an individual of them in the normal world would be laughed at immediately. They are so far from normal and part of normal society if they just go to a grocery store, for example. But at a, say, on a Lolicon's YouTuber's channel or Twitter where they've gathered, and they have a massive community, or at a Trump event, the weirdest fucking people, the biggest societal outcasts, will gather around you and point at you for, as I said, not pissing in the pool. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could drop a like. It really helps the channel a lot. Basically cattle prodding YouTube into pushing my content in the algorithm. So no matter when or where you're watching, whether it be a VOD, video, or live stream, I really do appreciate if you hit that thumbs up. And of course, if you comment down below, I like reading your comments as well and hearing what you guys think about this stuff, and it also boosts the channel quite a lot, so don't forget to comment as well. And of course, if you haven't already, please consider following my social medias, which are all linked down below. I really do appreciate it when you guys follow me there. And of course, if you want to support me directly, you can always do so by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, Patreon, or buying merch through Streamlabs as well, all linked down below in the description. And of course, don't forget that down below is a link to my fan Discord, which is the hub of my community, really, the hub of my fan base. I do watch parties, call-in streams, game events and stuff, and I also announce all of my uploads and streams there, so you'll never miss anything if you join and have notifications on. I hope to see you there, and I hope you enjoyed this video.